for my co-host today, Vivica A. Fox. That's what I'm talking about.
I like it, I like it.
Thank you for being here, darling.
Thank you. Our next guests say they were heartbroken when one of their twin sons was born virtually deaf and without ears. Let's take a look.
7 years ago, when I found out I was pregnant, my husband and I were ecstatic. And when it turned out we were going to have twins, we were twice as happy. After 7.5 long months and 5 difficult days of labor, our first son, Zeke, was born. Elijah was born second. The twins are identical, except for one thing. Eli was born with very small ears and with a severe hearing loss. His Bahas, or bone-anchored hearing aids, have allowed Elijah to hear perfectly, but for 5 years we searched for some procedure that would give Eli a sense of normalcy. Although permanent, reconstructive surgery is very invasive and the results are very disappointing. As Eli was getting ready to start first grade this year, we realized he also needed glasses, and his very small ears wouldn't support them, so we began to get desperate. We had been told of a prosthetics expert that might be able to help our son, and it was then that Bob Barron came to our rescue. With his identical twin providing the molds, Elijah was blessed with a new set of ears and a new lease on life. Without Bob Barron, we would still be searching for a way to avoid the embarrassing stares and comments that Elijah has dealt with on a daily basis from children and even sometimes parents. Instead, Eli is now smiling from ear to ear.
Please welcome Shannon and Steve to the show. You know, oftentimes, sometimes medical problems like this can be identified in utero, but when did you find out about this condition? Was it at birth?
Actually, you saw footage of that when they brought him over to me at birth.
And as a mother, the first thing that you do is to inspect for their hands and ears and everything, right?
Well, the first thing it was a hard labor, and I was really drugged up at this point. And but when they laid him on me, I got sober real quick.
Yes.
And I said,
mother's instinct.
Is it the other side too? And they said, I don't know. We don't know for sure, but he may be deaf.
And you found out that what appeared to be very extensive damage wasn't as much as you thought initially, correct?
Right, that he actually can hear fairly well unaided. If you're close to him, he can hear, but without any ear openings, no sound gets through the normal ear canal. So we got him aided very early on with a bone
6 weeks. He had
oscillator.
an aid.
Yeah.
How many surgeries has he had?
He's had 2. The first one, they for grown-ups, they just do 1 surgery for the Bahas, but for kids, what they do is they implant these titanium screws with holes in them, and they ossificate or fuse to the bone, and so they have to allow several months for that to happen.
We began to do research into medical options and into prosthesis, reconstructive surgery, and frankly, that just really terrified us. It's really invasive, and the results aren't something that we wanted for Elijah.
Well, please welcome the former CIA disguise specialist, Mr. Bob Barron, to the show. Bob. You were on the show before, but let's real quick, we can recap. You worked as a CIA disguise specialist for years, and then decided to take that talent and do what with it, so everybody understands?
Well, in the CIA, agents depended upon the realism of their disguise to keep them alive. And the disguise had to pass very close scrutiny, because if not, they wouldn't be here.
That's right, lives are in danger.
So, I decided that after I retired from the CIA that I would start designing prosthetic devices to bring those people out from hiding.
And what were you able to do for this family?
Well, I'm just happy to be a part of their lives. To make a difference in their son's life is just very gratifying.
And you had almost like the perfect mold here, because you have identical twins, so you could use the one brother's ears to make a mold out of, right? And so now this will have to be replaced and updated as he gets bigger, right?
Every 2 years.
Well, please welcome Elijah and Ezekiel to the show. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
How are you, sir?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
We've seen your movies.
Yeah? Cool.
Independence Day.
All right.
So what do you think, sir? What do you think? How do you like ears?
I like them.
You like them? You happy
very
that you're happy
brave
with
young
them?
man.
And I understand you though explain to people the fact that your real ears aren't like that, right? You talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Like the first day of school?
Because explain that, Mom. He went to school the first day.
Well, we had just received the ears from Bob the day before his first day of first grade in August. And we really wanted him to wear them the first day of school. And he said he was just adamantly against it. And we said, why? And can you tell them why?
Why?
Because I just wanted my classmates to see my ears, my real ears first.
So then they would understand, right? That's so wonderful. And I'm glad now, though, that it's perfect because now you can wear glasses and don't have to worry about, making excuses and things. So it's great, man. Congratulations for that. Bob, thank you. Thanks, really good. All right, take a little break. When we come back, a grandmother is in the house and she just surprises an intruder who had broken in after searching the whole house. Guess where she finds the guy? Hiding in the closet. But then you wonder, what did she do? Oh, baby, wait till you find out. You ever heard of a pistol packing grandma? Let me take a little break. We'll be back right after this.